The fact that the streets of Nigeria's urban centers are now boiling with anger over the ongoing cash crunch is a needless point to make under the prevailing circumstances. Now, coming close to next week's presidential election seems to make the situation more dangerous. What could be the endgame, and how can it be possible to find a solution that would be devolved from all political rhetoric? Well, joining us today is Dr. Charles Oludare. He's the national coordinator and the convener of Social Rehabilitation Group, a social welfare organization. He joins us now to discuss this and a whole lot more. And in the company of that, we'll also be Nwanyanwu, who is the national chairman and the presidential candidate of the Zenith Labour Party. We want to say thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us here on Newsday. And we want to start with you, Mr. Charles. Looking at how things have actually played out, some are saying that these are Nigerians that are fed up with all that has happened, and that is why they've taken to the streets to vent their frustrations. Some are saying that these pockets of riots and protests we've seen are politically generated. For you, looking at this holistically, where do you point the accusing finger to? Is it from the citizens, or do you think it has a political undertone to it?
Well, thanks for that question. There is no denying the political undertone to it. It is just the twist on the political undertone that people are, playing about. The truth is the fact that I just spoke with my 93-year-old grandmother a few hours ago. She said we are struggling to survive. I mean, a person who does not have money, who is struggling to feed his family, you have taken the money away from them and you have failed to release it to them. So people are going to be in despair. I mean, I had an argument with a friend of mine who spoke about, why is the North not, rioting? I'm like, well, they don't have enough banks in the North in the first place. And I'm pretty sure a lot of them still spend the old Naira notes. There is no political thing. It's just that people are in despair. People have worked, and you are denying them access to the value that they have earned. And I don't know if I still have time, but I'd love to get into a little bit of analysis before we continue. Then that is to talk about the gaslighting that the CBN governor sold to all of us. He told us that in 2015 that there was 1.46 trillion Naira in circulation. He did not at first mention the percentage that was outside the banking vault, but then on Thursday, the president told us it was 78%. So it went from 78% of the currency in circulation to 85%, which is not so alarming, right? An average of 1% increase in a year. But since we are in a global economy, and I'm in the United States right now, you are in Nigeria, we are talking, we're using the same gadget, the same mobile phone. We have to put that in the context of a stable currency, which is going to be the dollars. So based on what we were told by CBN, 1.46 trillion in 2015, the exchange rate was around 200, both in the parallel market and in the central bank, so in the regular bank. So that's about $7.3 billion in circulation, out of which 5.7 billion was in people's homes, based on what President told us, 78%, and 1.6 billion was in the banking vault. But now, fast forward to 2022, by the official rates, the worth in dollars of the 3.23 trillion that we're talking about right now is just approximately $7 billion. So it had come down. And then of which 6 billion is outside the banking vault, and about 1 billion is in the banking vault. And that is by using 460 Naira to a dollar exchange rate. Now, if we use the average exchange rate over these 8 years, which I'll put at about 650, dollar is around 750, 800 right now. So I'll put it about 650. That means that the total volume of cash in Nigeria went down from that 7.3 billion to about 5 billion right now. And the total volume of cash in people's homes, the value of that volume of cash went down from about that 5.7 to about 4.2 billion. That is the value. And the bank, definitely the one in the banking vault also went down significantly from about 1.68 million. So it is just what I call the emaciation of Nigerian economy. It has nothing to do with the volume of people, hoarding money at home.
All right, Dr. Oludare, if I may have Mr. Dan Nwanyanwu come in now to give his thoughts on this. Now, Mr. Nwanyanwu, did President Buhari's speech on the issuance of all the 200 Naira notes and, of course, further extension of the Naira allegation, as it were, so did that instill any confidence on the electorate in view of current narratives and, of course, public anger, as we've seen so far?
Thank you, Suleiman, for having me. Thank you for coming to this platform. I know you are coming with huge experience to add to Arise platform. I'm happy seeing you here. Towards the question you asked, I want to say that the issue of what is happening now, my take is that central bank should release huge funds to the banks. Let it be 5 Naira denomination, let it be 10 Naira denomination, let it be 50, 100 or 200, so that Nigerians can have access to their money to go to purchase grocery and medicine. That is all that the Nigerian people are asking for. They are not interested in all these statistics. They are not interested in all these discussions. But what is key to President Muhammad Buhari's speech a few days ago, and you can't believe it, Nigerians are saying yes. Majority of Nigerians are saying yes. That is it. Let them release the money. Let's have our money. We support this central bank position. And of course, I supported it ab initio. But I also added that Nigerians must have access to their money. You see, the reason why the president stopped at 200 Naira notes was because those who stashed funds out of the system don't stash such funds in 200 Naira. They stash 500 and 1,000. So they didn't go to court for our sake. They didn't go to court in sympathy to Nigerians' tribulations since 7 years ago. They went to court primarily for their own selfish interests, because they want a leeway to get an order or a process that will allow them push out the billions that has been arrested and put in homes over the years. Ask yourself, Suleiman, since President Muhammad Buhari made this speech, you can now see people bringing 50 million Naira, 150 million Naira. Central Bank Gariki too, I heard yesterday that somebody brought 500 million Naira there. So they're just testing the waters. President Buhari has all the security information available to him. And it is clear that the court process was not instituted for the interest of Nigerian people, not for your own interest or I, but for themselves. Even those who never believed in court, even those who did not believe that court can do anything, who have all their lives in public service, disobeyed all court orders against them while in office. They are now running to court so that the court will say, okay, release 1,000, release 500, so that they can bring the money out to go and buy votes. They are crying, Suleiman. Let them cry blood. Nigerians should just be patient. Let this money be released to central bank. Let them have their money, the money they gave the banks to keep. But for what the policy is intended, as to what is its intendment, it is for us. It is for Nigerian people. We cannot pretend that all is well. This is the time for us to, if you check most of those people speaking against it, they're either agents of those who start the funds or they were sent to do it. We are talking of a situation, somebody will lock 22 billion. That information came last week in his house, a sitting governor in the Northwest. We are talking of a situation where these things are done in broad daylight, and now they have rushed to court. President Buhari, Nigerians are saying, go to the street and interview Nigerians. They will tell you, Mr. President, you got this one right. But all I'm saying, Nigerian people should not suffer more than what they have suffered in having access to their funds. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Dan Nwanyanwu. By the way, it is Niyi, my colleague Niyi, that is in the studio, not Sulaiman. But coming back to you, Dr. Oludare.
That sounds like Sulaiman.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, we forgive.
Like
all right, that can be part of it.
Because I'm not seeing you.
Okay, no problem. Now let's come back to you, Dr. Oludare. I want to find out from you. You've just heard from what they call him talking about. You've just heard from Mr. Dan Nwanyanwu. Okay, Okay, I don't think we have Dr. Oludare with us. But okay, so let me come back to you, Dan. You've just said that most of all that has been done has not been done in bona fide, talking about the move by those that are against this monetary policy. But we've seen a backlash, more importantly, from state governors, Kaduna State Governor, Ogun State, Kogi State, Lagos State. They've actually hit out at this particular policy. What do you make of it as a political actor? What do you make of this, what some are calling dissent, what some are even tagging to be treason? That is what Dati Baba is actually saying it is right now. What do you make of this particular backlash and this particular dissent from governors to the pronouncement by the president?
You see, that's why I talk about political will. And that's why whoever is going to be president May 29th must have the political will to take a decision. If what El-Rufai of Kaduna State has done or did a few days ago had happened in other states, I'm sure that the president and his handlers would have taken it kindly. El-Rufai turned himself to be another government. He turned himself to be central bank by misleading people of Kaduna State, by grossly misleading people of Kaduna State to keep on collecting 500, 1,000 naira. He knew in his heart of hearts that that decision or that advice will amount to nothing because he's not neither central bank nor the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He should be careful how he talks to the president of Nigeria. President Buhari is not the president of APC. He is the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you have lost out from power and you are looking for a way to launch yourself back to power in 2023, don't abuse and insult our president. There is only one president in Nigeria, and there can never be more than one emir in a palace. So for you to go on to say things that will belittle the office of the president by giving counter instructions is like the action of a drunken man. There is only one president. And if you go to the market in Kaduna, most of the people did not listen to him. The man in Kano said yesterday, I read from media, that the president has done nothing, has achieved nothing for 7 years. Oh, you're just realizing it because you don't have access to push out your money out. Sorry, keep crying. If you like, cry blood. I have said so before. Nigerians are happy with this decision. The only area that is annoying is that they don't have access to their money. Let them have access to their money, pay it in any form that is legal tender for them to have access to buy foodstuff, to buy medicine. We should not listen to them. Let them go and sleep in the Supreme Court. Let the president, I'm a lawyer, the court orders must be obeyed. It must be obeyed in total. But this policy must be taken to the last point. If you go out, you can see things have started changing. Go and exchange your dollars now. They will tell you if you want Naira, it's 400 Naira per dollar. If you want transfer, it's 700 or 760 or something. You can see the effect. Let them not condemn it. Those money, the funds that have been stashed are no longer legal tender. They have become toilet papers. So let them look for another way. That was how all of them have been coming to power. You are giving funds to develop your state. All you do is to keep starting funds to buy votes for the next election. There will be no roads, there will be no infrastructure, there will be no education. They refuse to educate people so that they will use money. They will make them hungry over the years. So that by the time they get back, they will just give them 2,000, 3,000, they vote for them. Those shenanigans, those things must stop and it's coming to an end. Thank you, Mr. President, because he has his intelligence on the amount of money stashed outside. Let no patriotic Nigerian, I don't see any patriotic Nigerian saying that it is not good to turn those funds into paper. They don't have the courage.
All right, Mr.
To bring the funds to the banks
very
because
good.
NFIU and the EFCC is waiting for them.
You've made a good point there, but I'd like your thought on Labour's response on this matter. How relevant is it? It took a while, but they've been very quiet for some time now over this Naira short issue rather.
Yeah, we have a very strong, well-experienced, tough, and unshaken Labour leader as President of Congress now. He's a man who has been fighting for the workers. We were together many years ago in the Labour movement. And I think government should be very careful when taking decisions that will affect the interests of Nigerian worker. This is one president of Congress that will not compromise. This is one president of the Congress that will not go for meetings in the night and change decision of labor. They should be very careful. And of course, he took a very nice position by saying it is too late for this new leadership to take a position now on all that has happened, because that will be a stepping stone to truncating the election of next Saturday. That is a very responsible, patriotic position. But I want to say, even those that have gone to court, they were in this country. People were killed. Young girls of 10, 9 were taken away, raped, given out in marriage in their states. They didn't go to court. There were people who were condemned, kidnapped. They didn't go to court. Nigerians slept in petrol stations for days, increase in petrol pump price. They didn't go to court. Our universities were shut down. Our children were at home for months. They didn't go to court. They didn't go to court with all these things that happened in this country. It is this one that has affected them. The money I have, what do I do with it? The money that I have taken, people's money from our patronage, what do I do with it? So let me go to court. Go to court. Go and sleep in court. Mr. President has taken a decision Nigerians are in love with. So a NSC president was right in his position, and I am giving governments, both at the federal and state, to be careful. Because you have a new NSC president who will take appropriate action at the appropriate time.
Well, also many thanks to you, Dan Nwanyanwu, who is the national chairman and presidential candidate of the Zenith Labour Party. Thank you very much for joining us here on Newsday.